Well, guys, it finally happened. I finally got a hold of some truly mythical whiskey, right? Something that's kind of like a legend now, I guess, but only recently, if that makes sense. But we're going to dive right into it. So let's roll that intro. Welcome back, guys, to T-Rod Whiskey. I appreciate you making it back. Please, if you are watching this, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment down below, smash that subscribe button, and if you feel so inclined, hit that bell notification so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. Pretty easy. Anyways, I'm excited. I'm actually very excited because lately in the whiskey scene, I've kind of always got my ear to the ground with stuff that's going on. Like a lot of you, I probably spend way too much time on YouTube looking through the videos, reading articles, just keeping up on current events, right? And I know right now, the last couple months, there's been some whiskey kind of hitting the market, and it is rumored to be something special. Whether it's good or bad, it's special, it's unique, it's different. So I will regularly reach out to distilleries that have unique bottles and be like, hey, can I get a media sample? I'm a smaller channel right now. That's kind of what I got to do to stay relevant. So I was lucky enough to get a media sample of this. And this is a bottle of Old Zach 16 year. And it is 128 proof. Now, why? Obviously, 16 year is very impressive. And if you guys can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's a lot of sediment in the bottom of this, right? Why this is so special. Yeah. This is buffalo turkey whiskey. So let's dive in and kind of unpack that a little bit, right? Because buffalo turkey, some of you already know what I'm talking about. I bet a lot of you don't. So there was a time about obviously 16, 17 years ago where Wild Turkey was in the process of completing their new distillery. They didn't want to stop making whiskey, so they went to a neighboring distillery and said, hey, here's a mash bill. Can you keep making whiskey for us? Barrel it up, and then we'll toss it in the old rick houses, and how's your father? We'll be all good, right? Not going to miss a beat. This whiskey that people are calling Buffalo Turkey, so with a little bit of research on the website, right, it was distilled in Frankfurt, barreled in Frankfurt, aged in Lawrenceburg. Okay, Wild Turkey, what's up? All right, but then it was bottled in Cox's Creek, Kentucky. I don't know anything about Cox's Creek or what's out of there, but this is really, really cool. I mean, whether it's 16-year-old Wild Turkey or 16-year-old Buffalo Trace, like I'm starting to get tingles of stuff that carries that kind of age statement. Russell's Reserve 16, maybe Russell's 15, BTAC, something like that. And I mean, I'm probably just dreaming, right? Because if it was that good, if it was that wonderful, are they going to be giving it to guys like me who sit in their basement and just daydream about whiskey all the time? Maybe. In fact, that's what I'm banking on, right? So this is a 200 milliliter. I did not already drink all this. I got about 50 mils, which I'm very, very grateful for. If the folks at Old Zach are watching this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know 16-year-old whiskey, especially 16-year-old whiskey of this pedigree, is probably incredibly expensive, incredibly difficult to come by. So I count myself as lucky that I even get to try this. Okay. And just all the sediment in there, like that's flavor, guys. I've talked to a few people that are like, ugh, ucky. I don't like when there's stuff floating in my whiskey. Well, take the train, bro. There's plenty of us who would love to drink that. I want that in my body. Okay. So we got the glass. We're going to crack the old gal open. That is not an impressive crack, but put just a little bit in here because I want to savor as much of this as I can. So I don't want to pour a ton, but I want enough to get like a decent little pour going. All right. Seal that up nice and tight. This is not going to last long, by the way, folks, but I do want to make sure Courtney gets some of it because That's my love language. I share good whiskey with my significant other. All right. So, okay. It is incredibly viscous, which is about what you'd expect from a 16-year, 128 proof whiskey. Ooh. Molasses and caramel just right on the front of the nose. And there's like a sweet oak that kind of backs everything up. There's a lot of like dark molassesy, brown sugary sweetness on this nose. There's some oak in there, a little bit of vanilla. So it's very classical on the nose, but it's very, very, I don't want to say congealed. That's the wrong word, but it all works. It incorporates well together. Like there's layers to this nose. Oh, God, I would do unspeakable things to get a 750 of this bottle. If this is how it smells, if it tastes as good as it smells, anyways. Okay, I don't want to get ahead of myself. And, I mean, Buffalo Trace is putting out some great stuff. Wild Turkey puts out even better stuff. So my hope with this, right, is that the end result is greater than the sum of its parts. You got two giant, magnanimous legacy distilleries kind of coming together to make 16-year-old whiskey. That's pretty. That's pretty cool. All right. Moment of truth. Give it the old swirl job a little bit. Swirl, swirl, swirl. And just keep going. Get it nice and oxygenated. So what we're doing is we're incorporating oxygen into this. I was actually at a distillery tour a couple of years ago where a guy told me that was a wine thing and whiskey people need not do that. He worked at a Canadian whiskey distillery, so that should tell you everything you need to know. All right, we're going in. Wow. Okay. That's a little hot. That drink's a little bit hot, but that is good. That is. I'm not going to say what I think that's better than because that was my first sip. And we're going to pace ourselves. We're not going to get super excited here. Told myself I wouldn't do this. Definitely not going to cry. All right. There's a number of things in life that make me really happy, and this is one of them. This glass of whiskey is, I can't even right now. I can't even tell you. I had a rough day at work. This is making everything so much better. Goddamn, that is good. I don't want to say that this is George T. Stagg level because that's pretty high praise, but that's kind of the first thing that my mind went to with this. Viscous, dark, rich, molasses sweetness, brown sugar, sweet oak, like a caramel custard that kind of it's none of the notes that I'm getting are anything other than your classical bourbon notes, but they're dialed up to 11 and they work so well together and it's so it coats everything and it's delicious. I am so angry and yet so happy at the same time. I'm so mad that I don't have more of this. I want to know how I get more of this because this is really good. This is really good. I have no idea what this retails for, guys. By the way, I have no clue what the yield on these are. I mean, this is barrel number 861, so there's at least 861 barrels of it floating around, and thank God because this is fantastic stuff. A little bit of like there's a little bit of an allspice there, or a baking spice. Not getting a ton of rye. There's like just an ever present like little sliver on the finish back there, but it is, my God, is that good? I I don't know, guys. It's going to be real hard to assign a number to that. I'm going to have to go with something like I got to give it like a 9 flat, a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 9.1. It's really, really good. For my palate, this is everything that a classical bourbon is supposed to be. The flavors are dialed up. The proof is the appropriate amount. It's got the ultra cool sediment in it. I mean, it's. I need to find something that is close to this, that drinks the same way this does. If I can find a candle that smells like this, I would lose my freaking mind. This is fantastic, guys. There's no doubt about it. This is amazing. This is really, really good whiskey. I truly wish I had more of it, but I'm going to cherish every single drop that I was given here. That first sip did hit me a little bit. This is my first sip of whiskey of the day, and 128 proof is a little bit punchy, but once my tongue kind of acclimated, my God, that's good. I was going to go grab the bottle of Stag that I have just for a comparison, but this blows it out of the water. I can already tell. And it's going to have to go soon because I don't want this oxidizing and getting ruined. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to say final score 9.1. This might actually be the highest scored bourbon I've had on the channel. That is fantastic. Now, in my care package, I also received 2 bottles of, this is the Old Zach. These are single barrel strengths, but these were distilled in Claremont, Kentucky, which Claremont makes me think Beam. So 2 bottles of Jim Beam at barrel strength. We have barrel number 234 and 243, both at 120 proof. Very much excited to see what those are about, but this one here, the 16-year, this is, yeah. So if you guys have the opportunity, you can grab any of this Buffalo turkey. I don't care. You know, people ask, hey, would you slap your brother for $1 million? I would slap my mother in the mouth for a full bottle of this stuff. Not even a question. This is awesome. That's my review, guys. I'm sticking to it. I'm super excited. I'm sure I'm communicating that thoroughly, but that is damn good. So until next time, cheers.